Well, good afternoon, everyone in the Wantirna College community. I want to spend a few minutes this afternoon after taking a bit of time to watch the Premier's press conference, which occurred in the last hour or so, to talk to the school community about the announcement in relation to Stage 4 restrictions and its impact on our school operations tomorrow, this week, in the coming weeks, and for the rest of this term. And whilst I'll preface my comments by saying that we haven't actually received any detailed information from the Department of Education at this stage, so I'm relying purely on what I heard the Premier mention in today's press conference and the details that he provided. Let me start by saying and reinforcing some of his key messages about this week. Firstly, tomorrow is a normal school day for Year 11 and 12 students and those Year 10 students completing a VCE subject. So that is normal classes tomorrow for those students who've been coming to school over the last 3 weeks here in the start of Term 3. Beyond that, students who have parents working from home who might have a disability or those who are vulnerable who have been attending on site will continue to come to school tomorrow as well. Beyond that, Tuesday is now a curriculum day, so there'll be no classes on site and there'll be no remote learning on Tuesday either. That's to allow Year 11 and 12 teachers in particular to prepare for remote learning and for the school to make sure we've got the resources to support that from Wednesday onwards. So all Year 7 to 10 students have been completing remote learning for this term so far. They'll be joined by our Year 11 and 12 students who go back, unfortunately, to remote learning from Wednesday. Look, we know that is less than ideal, and particularly for our Year 12 students, that's going to be a real challenge. Year 12s and Year 11s have been able to come to class, learn with their teachers, receive the support from their teachers and their friends in the first 3 weeks of this term, but that's not going to continue in the short term from Wednesday. And I think it's just gut feeling, but I think that's likely to be the case for the rest of the term. As I say, I don't have specifics. They haven't been announced in any information that I've received from the Department of Education at this stage. I want to reinforce to our school community that we are absolutely prepared, ready and resourced for remote learning. Our teachers clearly are very experienced at it now. We've learned a lot of lessons along the way from the first remote learning phase into remote learning 2.0. I think we're more effective and more efficient than we were previously. Our understanding about how to use programs like OneNote and Microsoft Teams have advanced significantly, and I think many students and hopefully parents are seeing the benefits of that. I want to particularly, though, talk to our Year 12 students who, after today's announcement, would be pretty concerned about what the rest of the most important school year means for them. And being in Year 12, that final year, is just so important for so many different reasons. And for many of our Year 12 students who have got ambitions beyond secondary school into university or TAFE, Year 12 is an important year for them. Their results are important, and many of their pathways beyond this year are determined by how successful their last year is. Can I first reinforce with you that you are not disadvantaged. All Year 12s across the state, whether that's in a government school, independent or Catholic school, will also be in remote learning. Not that that's going to give you much comfort, but what I would say is that we are already well advanced in terms of putting some significant plans in place to support our Year 12 students. Miss Ford, I know, is already here on a Sunday afternoon working on some pretty detailed plans about further supports and further plans that we will put in place specifically for our Year 12 students so that they are even more supported this time around in their final year to get the results that they deserve and to allow them to reach their potential. Those supports would be for students, and there'll also be significant extra supports for Year 12 teachers as well to make sure that they've got absolutely everything they need to ensure that they can get the best outcomes with the Year 12 students for the rest of the year. We won't be sparing any expense or any resource to ensure that our Year 12s are supported as much as they can be, and we'll be putting plans in place to do everything we can to provide those resources and supports. Tomorrow we will have an assembly with the Year 12s, and we will discuss those plans and those details and those supports with you. I'm hoping that after that assembly you'll go away a lot more confident, a lot less anxious, and a lot more motivated about the rest of your journey in Year 12 throughout this year. I am absolutely convinced that our Year 12s can still be as successful as they would normally be in a year that wasn't influenced by the pandemic. I guess the challenge is around staying motivated, staying focused, not letting the pandemic distract you, to make sure you continue to communicate with your teachers and with your parents and reach out for help and support if and when you need it. Obviously, there's greater challenges around working and collaborating with your peers, but we think we can overcome them. This year will be a memorable year for our Year 12s in many, many different ways than every other Year 12 group that's come before them. But as I said, I remain convinced that we can absolutely put everything we can in place to ensure that you can be supported and successful, and that you can reach your potential and go on to those tertiary pathways that you absolutely deserve beyond this year. So to our community, I would say that unfortunately we're back in a pandemic remote lockdown period again. Obviously here I am in my weekend attire delivering this message. I wanted to get that information and to reinforce a couple of key messages as quickly as I could, and I particularly wanted to reinforce to our Year 12 students that we want you to stay motivated, we want you to stay positive, and if you can do that, you'll already have a lot of head start. You already have a head start on many other Year 12s who are going to find this year particularly challenging. So to our community, be assured that our teachers are absolutely prepared, absolutely committed and motivated for all of our students, 7 to 12, and they will do their best to make the most of Remote Learning 2.0, and we will be better this time around, and we'll have significant plans in place to make sure that our school will continue to deliver the outcomes in the classroom that we promise. But to the rest of the community, stay safe, look after each other, and we will communicate further messages as soon as we get information. Thank you.